Alright guys, a bit amazed actually by the flooding on here, to be quite honest with you. I thought I'd just gonna call in quick on my way home from work. Let me turn you around and I'll give you a quick, I'll show you. Yeah, if we open the gate, this is, I'd say I'm sort of the border with what's got really badly flooded and what hasn't got flooded. Straight away here, we'll just walk through. All these blocks here, as you can see where the water's pulled them up out the floor. All this pile here is, you can see the sort of track where they were sat. They ran up along there to just before you get to the shed. We're all underwater in the middle. The ground is, I'll just show you my boots. Look how far that's sinking. And then it fills right back up again. You say next door's a lot worse than me. And on the other side, it gets slightly better. But you come up here, and just find a brick to stand on, keep my feet out the water. But there was a pallet collar around that, and there was a pallet collar around that one. So how high the water came to move them, I'm not too sure. I'm assuming it's in that pile of them over there. I can just about see the greenhouse frame. Thank God that's concrete and not timber, because I'd have been a bit wound up if that had gone. The shed looks to be up out the water, but I can't tell. I'll go and have a little look and I'll get back to you. Right guys, I don't actually want to try and get to the shed right now. Luckily you can just about make the bottom out there. And that is sat on a couple of the Fit Council flags. So hopefully it's drained out, but underneath the water here it's just soil, and I've just gone that far into that bed and that's above the water. So I don't know what it's going to be like walking over there, and like I say, I've not got my wellies on, so I'll give that a miss at the minute. So we're just looking out over that way, where the tree line is there. There's a brook a couple of metres past that. And like you say, that's obviously burst its banks and come up this way. And like you say, I've only been on here not quite a year, but it was one of the questions that I asked my neighbours, does it flood in the winter? How bad does it flood? One of the things the neighbours did say was, oh no, it gets a bit soft underfoot, but they've never seen it flood. I know Rich, that's next door to me, he's been on here, I think he's been on here 10 plus years, and he said he's never seen it flood. So I'm quite gobsmacked, to be honest, how much water there is. Before we get to the brook there's next door, one next to that, and then there's one on the end of that, and then there's a good shrub line before you actually get to the brook. Like I say, just looking out over that way, you can see just after them boxes, there's one, well, you can see you've got the blue shed, the wooden shed, and then there's another gap. I think there's 3 allotments there. Oh, they're well underwater. Guys, I honestly don't know what to say. I didn't think the flooding would be this bad. Like you said, the local areas took it quite bad around here, but I don't know, for some reason I thought, oh no, we'll be all right here, but obviously not. I've just noticed I'm missing another pellet collar from around the garlic. Like you say, all the onions and garlic that are in, they're all stood to attention. It's not washed them out yet. Apparently we're due more rain this weekend, but we'll see what they say. We'll see what happens. My plot's by far from the worst. Like you say, I wouldn't even contemplate walking onto a few of the others, but it's not looking great, is it? Sorry for the portrait, guys, but I'm pedaling here. I don't want to drop my phone, but this is the water, this is the entrance to our allotments. So I'm pedaling. On the bottom stroke of the pedal, my toes are touching the water. So we just hit a deep bit. Not great. Right, guys, curiosity got the better of me. I was going to leave, and then I thought, oh, let's come and see what it's like, what's happened to the shed. So I had to build a little bridge, stepping stones to get to the shed. I've got one bit of a jump to make here, and then I'll get back to you. It's not that bad, to be fair. It's the water's come up maybe 6 inches inside the shed. The only thing I've got on the floor is a few timbers, a box of the the weed membrane pegs, and a bottle up and a jerry can full of petrol, so that had just been bobbing about on top of it all. The floor's squelching though. Every time I take a step, you can hear this gargle from underneath it. We've got flags underneath, so at least it'll all sink together if it does sink. But no, we're not too bad. Hopefully we can dry it out. I might have to bring the chimney around or a little gas fire and get that going in here or near here just to dry it out. Just a view from the bottom end of the plot looking towards the gate. At least with having the high fencing all the way around us, nothing sort of floated off. I've not got to go and chase a wheelbarrow next time I'm down here, kind of thing. There's not really a lot I can do right now until the water starts to drain off. Just sort of taking one last look. There's nothing here that can't be fixed. There's nothing of great monetary value that's been ruined. The shed floor, so we can board over it. It's not a problem. The pallet collars, I get them from work. They're not a problem. What surprised me the most is how it's picked pallet collars up and moved them. You know, crazy. So looking out over it, I suppose we live in an area that doesn't generally flood. There's a few lower bits that do, but the areas that I've lived, it doesn't. I've never had a flood issue, and this is the sort of first time of me having any sort of flood damage that directly involves me, and I'm a bit speechless, to be fair. Yeah, I thought I'd come on, there'd be a few puddles. The ones further down near the brook might have a bit more of a serious issue, and now I've come on and it's, I've got a serious issue sort of thing. But we'll come back, we'll nip back in at the weekend. Look, all we can do is wait for the water to die down. There's fire engine there's a couple of fire engines on the road at the front pumping the water off for the houses, and if they're pumping it off for them, it's going to drag it off here as well, isn't it? So let's hope for the best, and I'll see you in the next vlog, guys.